Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to you lovely folks joining me here over at Marvel's Snap Zone. Welcome back for another daily deck highlight video where we cover some of the more interesting and best performing decks in Marvel Snap right now. Today's list actually comes from the Silent Performers of the Week segment of last week's tier list, a segment where we look at decks that are currently performing as we would expect a good deck to do, with a positive cube weight and a positive win rate, but not necessarily with the sample size and a number of people playing it required to get it featured on the tier list. So at the moment, this one is taking up less than 1% of the metagame, but is a harken back to a list that started to break out towards the end of Silver Surfer's lifespan in Move Surfer. I think the first time I saw this was that content creator Kraken Null looking to break this one in half, and I kind of love it, and it's really cool to see it making a resurgence. So if you haven't seen it before, the concept is really simple. We're looking to have a number of good 3-cost cards to buff with our Surfer, and you'd be surprised by how many of them fall into the move synergy. We've got cards like Doctor Strange, Vulture, Juggernaut, Polaris. These are all just cards that are good on-rate cards for the move deck that happen to cost 3 already. Once you're playing Juggernaut, you want to look to pair it with its Wombo combo with Storm, another 3-cost card that benefits from what the deck is trying to do. And then our last 3-cost card we play is just Brood, which of course is a Surfer staple and has been for the rest of time. The rest of the shell kind of fleshed out here with the other move payoffs. We gain access to things like Cloak, Craven, Iron Fist, even the most underappreciated Battle Pass card of all time in Miles Morales. And then we cap it all off with the single best card in Marvel Snap in the form of Arrow. If you enjoy this kind of content, do let me know. Leave a comment down below. Like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel for me so you don't miss out on any of the stuff we're putting out here over at Marvel Snap Zone. But until the next video, enjoy some gameplay from Move Surfer or Motion of the Ocean. This is a bit awkward actually, right? Because if I want to Arrow on turn 6, I don't have the power to do everything. Yeah, I think I Brood Cloak. Opponent takes the pass, so I have to imagine this is some She-Hulk nonsense. Which kind of just makes me want to Arrow. I think arrowing is much safer here if this is She-Hulk Infinite nonsense. We'll do this to fill up, but fairly certain this is the play. Nice and clean. Pretty much the perfect example of why Arrow is just one of the most insane cards in Marvel Snap right now, and definitely a good example of a game this deck can win without access to Silver Surfer, or in this case actually with access to Silver Surfer, just choosing not to play it. Well, New York is the concrete jungle where dreams are made of, and also pretty good for a deck like this, unsurprisingly. I don't feel the need to Iron Fist on turn 1. I think you're better off holding it a lot of the time. So I think we're just going to set the Craven in New York to have it ready to go for later on. Got to be mindful that we can't move things through the miniaturized lab right now, which definitely could come up.
Live from the Daily Bugle.
Live from the Daily Bugle. We've gained a Gamora. The old Wolverine Gamora combo deck is not one that I'm used to seeing. So I think we have to Vulture here now to have Strange move it. Yeah, I think so. Excuse me. So this feels like a big old pile of Galactus, which is a bit unfortunate. We're not set up to Arrow in this spot. If it is a Galactus, we sadly really can't do much about it, so we'll just make our play accordingly. Pull the Vulture over, turn on the Miles. We get magicked, okay. Magic, a little bit unconventional in the Wolverine deck. Not entirely sure what's going on here. We won't be moving back for free on turn number 6 anyway. So I think this is quite interesting. I think I want to cloak in the lab on turn 6. I don't really want to lose my Miles here either, so I think what I'm going to do is go Juggernaut Miles, Iron Fist. Opponent will Electro and play my copy of Miles Morales. Very cool. Well, we're not getting Galactus anymore. Juggernaut making sure of that. Okay. Polaris also would have been quite funny at making sure of that. So I think what we do in which case is we go Polaris Cloak. And we look to draw Brood. Opponent with the Hobgoblin. It's a bit unfortunate. We do draw the Brood. Okay. So now I'm fairly certain we just want to go click. Or maybe we move the Craven in first. This is interesting. Space is quite limited in this regard. Yeah, opponent's just out of here. We definitely had the ability to play through that. I think I need to think about it just a little bit more as to where stuff was going to go. I feel like we're probably supposed to go move the Vulture in, except that we're only making 2 Broods. But there's definitely an argument to moving Craven and getting that little bonus too. But yeah, opponents. I could only assume this was Galactus' plan. Not really coming together. Well, Project Pegasus is a fruity little start here, so we'll just go Vulture Doctor Strange, I suppose. Pull this straight across. Opponent with the Sunspot Armor starts. Also not bad, in fairness. I think I'm going to try and separate that pairing. I think I hold this cloak. Opponent takes the pass as well. Sinister London. Well, certainly don't mind Sinister London. That should be a pretty good location for us all around. We do indeed pull the armor out. And then pull the Sunspot across. Iron Fist.
Opponent snapped.
But snapping here is kind of interesting. I don't feel like we're out of this by any stretch just yet. I think I'm on board to just cloak mid. Final Psylocke. Okay, so looking for lots of energy on that final turn, huh? Well, the second to final turn, I should say. So we'll move Vulture in and set ourselves an arrow. Opponent just moving the armor and not playing anything. How interesting. Well, that's pretty good. This feels like it should win a lot of the time. The storm here is pretty egregious. are just completely stealing away Sinister London from an opponent who thinks they're going to be able to duplicate everything.
Aid my hand.
That's really nasty. Yeah, look at that. Highway robbery. Opponent thought they were going to be making 60 power on the last end of that game, and did not, courtesy of that storm draw, which is pretty gross. I think we have to retreat when they pass on 5 if we have no storm, but that was a pretty darn good draw. This Infinite is also beautiful, but yeah, lovely stuff. I'm definitely leaning towards this one being a bit of a forgotten member of the old guard, I should say. I don't really think there's many ways you can improve this, to be honest. Obviously, the Surfer nerf was not good for this deck, but it's really cool to see it still kind of putting up a positive cube average, feeling like a competitive option, and maybe a place where you can play Silver Surfer if you are looking to still enjoy that card, much like I am. I do think combining Surfer with elements like Polaris, Juggernaut, Aero is going to give you a lot more game into decks like Galactus specifically by giving you tools that can interact with them. Which is definitely worth knowing and worth paying attention to. I am a little bit worried about how this deck does in the face of like big lockjaw decks though, and just like I guess mainly lockjaw on reveal, and just how you keep up with the sheer level of stats that deck can put out. And I wonder if you have to try and fit a Shang-Chi in somewhere just because of how the matchup goes into stuff like Shuri Zero. But I think you're okay into Shuri Zero because you have the ability to like aero cards into the same lane on the last turn of the game. So I think this one's pretty cool, and I look forward to seeing whether it can hold its berth in the silent performers or go higher over the course of the next week. So should be an interesting one to watch. But until next time, folks, thank you for the love. Thank you for subscribing to the channel and enjoying the content here at Marvel Snap Zone. I've been Howling Minds. I almost got there. You've been amazing. Thank you very much. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. See you soon.